Okay, you ready? All right, so this is Voice of Shay, and I did a video previously on how I was essayed at the age of 3 up until the age of 11. So if you missed that one, go back and check that one out. So now, I am now the age of, let's say, 15. Now, every year, my mother would go back to Dallas to visit her friends. Now, I don't have the problem with this great uncle anymore because I got him straight. So I don't have problems anymore. But I had a little friend, and let's call him Mark. And every year, me and my brothers would play with a group of kids when we go to visit Dallas, and Mark was one of my really good friends out of all the kids. It was kind of like, I don't know if you're old enough, you know this name, the Little Rascals, and we'd all get together on the street and we'd have fun. We'd ride bikes. We raid trees and we played with dogs and we just did all kind of stuff that kids do. Um, so me and Mark kept in touch over the years. So every time that I go back to California, him and I would always write each other. We'd write each other during Christmas time, birthdays, Easter, all holidays. We would write each other. So we were really good friends. Um, so I'm trying to give you a narrative of how I met my husband. Let me give you a little background on the environment that I was raised in. My mother was a very strong black woman. She's very positive. She's very strong-willed. She was very independent, and she pretty much took care of everything. She paid the bills. She did the grocery shopping. She cleaned the house. She did everything. And so what that looked like to me as a little black girl, it looked like to me that she supported her husband no matter what. I'm not going to go into a lot of things about my parents because this story is about me. But my mother was very supportive of my dad. Even if sometimes my dad would mess up, she would be right there to take care of bills no matter what. And in my eyes, that's what it looked like to me. Take care of your man no matter what. So she didn't have to tell me that this is the environment that I grew up in. I grew up with both parents, and we lived in a middle income bracket, in financial environment. And back to Mark. All right, so I'm 15. Okay, I'm 17, getting ready to graduate from high school, and my parents separate. And when they separate, my mother decides to move back to Texas. And I was devastated because I was like, did not want to leave my father. I did not want to leave my daddy. And I wasn't breaking up. I didn't have problems with him. She was having problems with my dad, not me. So, it was very rough for me to get in the car with my brothers, and we had a station wagon, and we drove all the way from California to Texas. Once I got to Texas, I had applied for a couple of colleges, and I got accepted into a college there in Dallas University there. And when we got there, I didn't really have any friends in Dallas. The only friend I had was Mark. So me and Mark used to hang out. And now I'm 17. I believe he was 17 also. And he was just, I loved him. We've been friends for years, as kids from 10 years old. So I loved him. I love, Mark. And so we started messing around, and The birth control pills that I used was this, and I got pregnant. And I'm not gonna go into the story on about me and my mom, because that was kind of devastating. Knowing that I got pregnant, before going to college. So she was really upset about that. Both of my parents went to college. So, and that's what she expected. That's what they both expected from me. But anyway, I decided to be a mom and work for the rest of my life. So anyway, Mark and I decided to get married because I was pregnant and we didn't know what else to do. We're both 17 years old, and he was going to be turning 18 the beginning of the year, and I was going to be turning 18 in October. So we just thought, well, the best thing to do is to get married. And he decided he was going to go into the military. He's going to go to the Army to provide for us, and I was going to wait for him. So I got a job working at a school as a reading aide for kindergartnens. And, I thought it was, this is like my dream. My parents end up staying together until they died. I mean, they were together for almost 50 years. And I wanted to be like my parents because they were a very good model for me. And I wanted to be like them. So my parents were so upset with me that my father didn't speak to me probably for over a year. And my mother was just so angry with me. I mean, she told me off all kind of ways. But I stuck to my guns, and I was having a baby. I didn't care how mad she was. So we got married, and I moved in with him and his mother. And that was a nightmare. So, okay. So I moved in with him and his mom, and the reason why I'm pausing is because I'm trying to figure out which way to go with this story. I want to tell you a little bit about him, and then I'll tell you what happened to me. All right, so to give you some background. All right, so Mark was born in a hospital, and his mother left him there for whatever reason. She didn't want to take care of him. She had 3 kids before him, and eventually she had 3 kids after him, but at this time, she had left him in a hospital. And when she did that, her sister decided that she and her husband wanted to adopt her nephew. All right, so now the dynamics have changed. His mother is his aunt, and his aunt is his mother. So his sisters and brothers are now his first cousins and not his sisters and brothers now. All right, so you got that mix up. All right, so that's kind of messed up growing up knowing that your moms and aunties swished you in the hospital and they didn't tell you about it. So he really had adopted parents. So anyway, when he was about 16 years old, his adoptive father was a pastor, and he died. He was very devastated by that, and he took his mother's car and he drove off at the age of 16, and he wrecked her car. And after he did this, his mother was so angry with him that she blurted out that I should have left you in the hospital, and I can't believe you did this, and I don't want to take care of you now, and just, all the negative things that probably just rolled off the top of her head, not realizing how this would damage him mentally. All right, so in the next video, I will go into the marriage. So I'll just kind of give you a setup on what type of person Mark was.